Graham, thanks for joining me, mate. How are
Pleasure,
you?
mate. I'm really good, thanks.
Oh, good stuff, good stuff. I'm fresh off your golf day last week. It was a really good day. I enjoyed that.
We had the weather as well, didn't we? So it was okay.
Yeah. No, it was a good day for it. You've done really well. It was nice. I'll be back next year for sure.
Lovely. Yeah, lovely, mate.
Okay, mate. Yeah, I've got you here today. Just a quick one on the Tottenham manager situation. You know, you started out with Conte, and then you had the dream of Pochettino coming back, and then it was Eric, the Ajax manager, and Fonseca, and it seems to be going. The expectation seems to be going down and down and down.
Getting nearer me, Mike.
I know.
It's I'm in the running now because I won a tournament at Tottenham the other day in the Kaimo Tyres five-a-side tournament, and I won it. So I went to the top of the list, I think.
Well, Paddy Power, I've got you at second favourite at the moment, mate.
Well, I can't give you any information there at the moment because I've been told to keep it quiet.
But is it coming to a point now where it's a case of whoever wants the job is going to get it, or do you still think there's a clinical kind of shortlist there?
Do you know, I think there might be somebody from the Euros. Martinez, Gareth Southgate, if he doesn't do well, would he get booted out of England? So you're looking at that sort of side of it now and thinking, have they got their fingers into somebody at the Euros? And deep down, I think the chairman quite likes Martinez. So, we just got to wait and see. But saying that, we've got to have somebody in place before they go back on the 3rd of July.
Yeah, no, true. I mean,
you've got to do your pre-season training.
I'm not saying that no one wants the job, but they're obviously having problems getting the right man. Why do you think that is?
Money, I suppose. There's not a lot of money there at the moment because of the pandemic and also the new stadium. So if you're a top manager, look at Conte. He's a top manager, and but he wants money to spend to build, and they haven't got that. So whoever comes in's got to work with the players and see what they can do. And I think we need 8 players this year. I think we need to move 8 on and get 8 new players in. Well, we need 2 centre-halves for a start, a right back, an Eriksen in midfield, some similar to that can create. And then, you go from there because of the strikers and all that. They score goals.
I think obviously it's dependent on who the manager is going to be. Will be also dependent on which players are there next season. I mean, one of them is Harry Kane. Do you think the manager will have an impact on whether he will be there next year, or do you think that decision will be made regardless of who the manager is?
I think maybe Harry has made his mind up. We don't know. We don't know what the situation with him and the chairman is. Is there an agreement that we don't know about, that he signed a 6-year contract, but maybe the club didn't win anything for 3 years, then he could leave the club and the club can get a decent fee for him. Nobody knows what the situation is. But personally, having watched him play for England, I think he will be a fool to go to Man City, because the way they play, you can see that England are trying to play in that style, and he doesn't get a kick of the ball. They don't cross the ball. They don't get the balls in the box. They try to walk everything in. Sterling, Foden, I think they're great players, but that won't help Harry Kane. Harry Kane, I would say next year, would struggle to get 25 goals if he went to Man City.
You actually sort of brought me on to my next question there with your answer, but that was what I was going to say. I mean, if you look at the figures that are being thrown around, and I know they're all rumours of 120, 150 million quid, and you look at the way Kane's played in the Euros, and firstly, let me say that I think he's one of the best strikers in the world. He's superb. But if you look at him in those Euros, would Tottenham actually be foolish not to cash in and get that kind of money for him at his age?
Listen, I think they've got a fee lined up. Anything under 150 million, you're not going to get it. That's what I think Tottenham want. Whether that people are willing to pay it. I've read in the paper down here today that Man City have said, we'll pay 100 million, take it or leave it. Well, they're going to leave it, Tottenham. They're not going to take £100 million. Harry Kane, like you just said, is one of the best strikers in the world. Where's been the service to him? We've had no service. You've got 2 fullbacks last against Scotland who get down the wings, crosses in the box. James never went over the halfway line. And that his forte is to get down, cross the ball. Well, why didn't he do it? You've been better playing Kyle Walker, who would at least cross the ball, or Trippier. So for me personally, he would be a fool to go to Man City. So I don't think it will help his game. That's just my point of view. But for England, I think maybe Gareth Southgate has to look at it and think, how do I get the best out of Harry Kane? If Harry Kane don't score, nobody else is going to score.
On that note, should he be playing? Should he be starting? Should he be starting against the Czech Republic? Because
100%. He's the best striker in the world. One of them. Would Argentina leave Messi out?
No.
But they play to his strengths. Ronaldo. Do they leave Portugal? Leave Ronaldo out? No, they don't. But you've got to play to Harry Kane's strength. And what's happening at the moment? Harry's getting deeper and deeper to try to get a kick of the ball. Sterling and Foden and Mason Mount's another one. They look at him and they don't pass him the ball. They want to walk the ball in the net. Look at Sterling the other night when it might have been a penalty. But he dropped his shoulder 8 times. Even I fell off the settee when he dropped his shoulder. And he still didn't pass it to Harry Kane, or he ran it down the line and fell over and tried to get a penalty. Everybody knows you've got to play to people's strength. We've had strikers at Tottenham, Soldado. They bought Soldado. He scored 34 goals a season before he came to Tottenham. 30 of them were from crosses from wingers. He went to Tottenham and Tottenham didn't play any wingers. So he didn't score any goals.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science. Harry Kane, everybody's saying don't look fit. Well, I would think he looks peed off at the moment because he's not getting the service from the players that he should be. England are playing 2 holding midfield players at home against Scotland. You don't need 2 holding midfield players. Hopefully Jack Grealish plays tomorrow, and I would give Rashford a go, play Kyle Walker. I thought Shaw did all right the other night, so play him or
and Trippier as well.
Chilwell. Get them on the pitch, get the crosses in the box, and we'll score goals. But does England want to win the league? Because they have to play France or Germany, or would you rather come second and play Spain, Sweden, or Poland? That's a bit of a question.
Well, it's the one everyone's having at the moment. I've been chatting about that this morning, and you think, do you become cynical with that one and go in there, rotate, and think, well, if we come second, it's not the end of the world?
Yeah, well, you play to your strengths, and at the moment, playing France, Germany, or Portugal is not a good idea at the moment. So you go the other route.
Do you think Gareth Southgate, you touched on it there with Gareth, and I think it's great the way he's captivated fans again for England, even though there's a little bit of despondency after the other night. But do you think he's the right man for the job with the amount of talented players he's got? Do you think you look at the Italians?
I think he's a good manager. I think he's very conservative. Like the other night, I might be a bit nasty here, but I saw him talking to Steve Holland to make a substitution. And they were thinking Mount, because you can see their lips moving. You can half read.
They go like that, but you can still see.
It was Mount or Kane, and Steve Holland said, "No, we'll get Kane off and put Rashford up there and try to get behind them." And you're thinking, well, yeah, because you was a Chelsea coach. That's what that's about. So yeah, it goes on. It goes on in football. You're trying to get a goal. Why would you take your best striker off?
Yeah.
Because the others, none of them are having any shots at goal, so they're going to score. So, I'm biased with Harry Kane. I think he's the best striker around, but he's got to get the service. You've got to give him the service. Going back to Gareth, I think he needs to loosen the reins a bit. He needs to give a few people to let them do what they want to do.
I'd love to see Foden and Grealish play together with Sancho.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, put them on there. What you got to lose? Yeah. Like, look at Italy. Italy play 4 or 5 strikers. They're attacking, and that's what we got to get in our game. We're so defensive minded. Oh, we got to look after the back too. Well, if you ain't good enough, don't play them.
Yeah.
You've got 2 centre halves. If they're not good enough, don't play them. If you don't trust them, don't play them.
No, 100%. 100%. But I'm going to ask you before you go, quick one. Quick 2, actually. If you had a gun to your head now, where do we finish in the Euros is the first question, and who is the Tottenham manager come next season?
Do you know? So I don't know. Somebody got a gun on me or what?
No, it's not a real one. Don't worry, Graham.
Where do we finish? It all depends on if we come first or second. If we come second in the league, then I think we could go semi-finals, stroke final.
Yep.
Go in that route. If we go the other route, I can't see us getting past Germany or France.
I'd like to see it, but I think you could be right. But I'm gonna go with the confident stance of if you're going to beat them, you've got to beat them at some point. If you're going to win it, then
final. beat them in the final. That's the best place. You got to get to the final.
Fair enough. And who's the Tottenham manager?
Who's the new Tottenham manager? Honestly, I haven't got a clue. They're talking about Nuno now. They're the Ajax manager, Martinez. Could be anybody. I think the new bloke coming in, Paratici, wants to bring an Italian in. Go and get Roberto Mancini. He's the best manager at the moment in Italy. Go and get him.
That would be a superb appointment if they could. But I've got another theory. I think their management team next year is going to be Hoddle and Roberts, with our dealers under the creative wing.
Well, he won't be running around no pitch. Our dealers. No, it's not going to happen. To be honest, the old players don't even get a look at. And I feel it's a shame, really, because you've got a brains of Glenn Hoddle, the artistry of Glenn Hoddle there, not being used, because the people that own the club now didn't see Glenn Hoddle play. They don't know. They didn't see Graham Roberts playing. They didn't see. They know Ozzy. Ozzy's an ambassador there, but at the end of it, it is what it is, and they have to find somebody very, very, very quickly, because we got an important season this year.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more, mate. And you know what? I was said in jest there about Hoddle, but I actually think he'd be a good appointment. And if he was in charge of England now, with those players we've got at the moment, I think we'd go a long way.
Be unbelievable, honestly, it would be. When Glenn had the Tottenham job, he had no money. Yeah. There was no money there to spend, and he had to get loan signings or free transfers. The money going around now is ridiculous. But the players that they've got, I think Eric Dyer can be a great midfield player. Why do they keep playing him centre half? He's not centre half. He can't defend properly, but he's a good midfield player. And it's cost itself this year by playing centre half, cost him the England chance this year.
You always think about these things. You think if I can see that, and I'm not a player or a manager, and you see that, and obviously you know more than me. Why does the person in charge not see that? It's almost the same with the England.
I don't know, Michael. You look at it and you think, because Eric Dyer said he wanted to play centre half with Mourinho, but so what? I wanted to play centre forward and score 49 goals a season, but I never. I played in goal. So
you should have come and played in my five-a-side team, Graham. You just played up front there and scored 49 goals a season.
Well, to be honest, I did score 49 goals for Bournemouth youth team. Harry Redknapp was the manager. So and then he released me at the end of the season. They had no cash. So I think Harry must have kept all the money.
Good stuff, mate. Listen, thanks for talking to me. That's quality. And I look forward to catching up with you soon, mate.
Yeah, anytime. Cheers.
Cheers, Graham.